Friends, I am Sujata Bhattacharya. Today I will teach the part 4 or fourth part of the same chapter, that is flower, and today I will teach about the pollination. Now first of all you think about it, what is pollination? That is the transference of pollen grain from one flower to another flower is called as pollination. So what is pollen grain? Yesterday I told you that pollen grain is the male gamete, and this male gamete will go to the stigma of the another flower where it will get the female gamete, and after fertilization it will form the fruit. So this is the process and it is called as pollination. Now pollination is of two types. First is self-pollination and next one is cross-pollination. As the name indicates, self-pollination. Self-pollination means when the pollination takes place in between the pollen grain of same flower with the ovule of the same flower. This is known as self-pollination. Or these pollinations can take place in the same plant also, from one flower to another flower. This is known as self-pollination. Children, you should understand self-pollination. It means that the characteristics remain same as their parent plant. So this is called as self-pollination, whether in the same flower or in the different flower of the same plant. Now, second is cross-pollination. As the name suggests, cross, that means there is the crossing of male gamete and female gamete between the two different plants, but the species should remain same. That means if pollen grain of China rose goes to the rose plant, then it will not be accepted. It should go to the hibiscus flower only or China rose only. Now cross-pollination. How you will define it? Cross-pollination is the process in which pollen grain of one flower goes to another flower or stigma to the another flower, which should be the different plant, not in the same plant or not in the same flower. This is the cross-pollination. So self-pollination and cross-pollination. Now you can understand that self-pollination, they cannot give us different varieties of the fruit, but in the cross-pollination they can give us the different varieties of fruit by crossing each other. Now, how the pollen grains move from one flower to another flower? These are the ways by which pollen grains can move from one flower to another flower. First is by wind pollination. As the name suggests, pollen grains are moved from one flower to another flower with the help of air. Biological word of it is known as anemophily. Anemo or anemo, that is, it is not I, it is E, anemophily. Now, you should understand, if the pollen grains will be float in air, they should be small in size, they should be dry, and they should be more in number. If they are in the less in number, then the pollen grain should destroy and can be finish the species, or species can be finished. Now second is, another method is by insect, or as the name suggests, that is by insect means the pollen grains are taken from one flower to another flower by the insects, especially bees, honeybees. They are coming to suck the nectar and stick the pollen grains to their legs, and then it goes to another flower and sprinkle it on the stigma of the another flower. This is known as insect pollination, or biologically it is called as entomophily, or biological word is for insect pollination is entomophily. So the pollen grains which are attached with the legs of the insects, so they should be sticky or they should have some hairy structures on it, so they can stick to the insects. Now third is